My friend went to Louis Vuitton because the dollar is so strong. You can buy $1,000 purse for 500. I'm not buying them, but that's the deal.
Wow.
But it's no, I had lunch at the Eiffel Tower restaurant, and I had lunch at a 5-star hotel yesterday, and went to the Picasso Museum, the Dior Museum, the Orsay Museum, the Louis Vuitton Museum. And tomorrow we're taking the channel to England. So interesting. So it's in the evening.
Oh, that's
How many members are on?
we have Ellen and Judy's. We're waiting for Donna and
Morning, Donna. John's here, and I think I see Ellen and Linda's trying to log on because we didn't get the link until about 5 minutes ago.
Well, I know I didn't either. So, but I got on my iPad, so I was lucky.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ellen.
How's everybody?
good.
Good.
The link is always available in case you guys need it on the agenda itself.
Oh,
So in this instance, I'm sorry, I forgot. I was balancing 2 meetings with Leslie out, but yeah, anytime you need it or have any questions, it always appears on the agenda.
oh yeah.
And I know I had her old meeting saved, but I wanted to make sure we didn't have any issues with IT getting the meeting started. So I changed up the Zoom links from what she had saved previously so we could ensure we could all be here together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Keep that cat out of here. We have a cat that's decided it wants to come in our building, and every door that's open, it comes in. It's really sweet. And we've got the doors open because of COVID, you know,
Oh, sure.
all the ventilation, da 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 da.
All right, well, it looks like it's 9:30 and it looks like we have a quorum. So let's get started this morning. Roll call, please.
Linda Calafiore,
Present.
Donna Jett,
Present.
Ellen Martin,
Present.
John Meisak,
Present.
and Judy Ferguson.
Here.
Margie, your voice is really low.
Okay, I'll try to.
Much better.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, announcements from commissioners. Any commissioners have any announcements? No. All right, announcements from staff.
I do not have any announcements at this time.
Okay, public appearances. I don't see any public here, is there? Am I missing? No, I'm not. Okay. Approval of the minutes. I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Margie or Ashley or whoever's, I don't know who's starting today.
John seconded.
Yeah, I got that. Linda Calafiore,
Yes.
Donna Jett,
Yes.
Ellen Martin,
Yes.
John Meisak,
Yes.
Judy Ferguson.
Yes, and we're having a hard time hearing you again, Margie.
Okay, I'm Well, I don't know. It's
There it is.
okay. I'll have to get really super close.
Okay. Annual election of officers. Here we go.
I'll nominate John as chair.
I second.
Thank you. I'm following in good footsteps if that's the case.
Is there a nomination for vice chair?
Do we vote on one or do we vote on both together? How does that work?
However you would like to do it.
Shall we take care of chair first?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Linda Calafiore,
Yes.
Donna Jett,
Yes.
Helen Martin,
Yes.
John Meisner,
Yes. Thank you.
Judy Raffaello.
Yes.
Hey.
All right. Vice chair.
I
Nomination.
nominate Linda.
Well, thank you, Donna. I mean, I'm happy to, serve through April. My term is up in April. As of right now, I'm thinking of not re-upping. So you might want to pick someone else.
Okay, well, I picked Judy then.
Well, Judy's in the same boat as Linda, actually.
So you're down to Donna or Ellen.
Yes.
Yes.
Ellen.
Ellen's never done it, right? Ellen.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I'm the
I love-
newbie. I'm the newbie on the block.
That'll be good for the newbie.
I'll
All right.
second that for the newbie.
Who's the nomination? Who
Ellen.
Ellen.
Who nominated Ellen?
Donna.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Linda Calafiore,
Yes.
Donna Jett,
Yes.
Helen Martin,
Yes.
John Meisner,
Yes.
and Judy Raffaello.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, normally with the election of officers, we switch seats. So, John, it's all yours.
Well, we normally switch seats at the next meeting. If you want to switch seats right now, you can too.
Oh, we've switched seats for me during the meeting.
We did, but we stopped that practice. But if you want to switch now,
Oh.
you can. We're behind a month because the council didn't finalize what they needed to do until June. So they threw us off a little bit with our thing. So if you want to start now and you're comfortable, John?
Sure. If Judy wants to hand it off, I'm
I'd love
happy
to
to take
hand
the
it
reins. All right. Well, I'm happy to move forward. We don't, I guess, I'm assuming do we not open this to public comment?
Yes, we should. Excellent
We should.
job, Chair.
Thank you. So,
Is there any public?
comment? All right. In that case, the next item on the agenda, receive an update on the farmer's market and discuss.
So I have Raul. Raul is here today to talk about our efforts towards our first third Thursday, which we're getting down to the wire. The third Thursday is next Thursday, the 21st. So we're working on finalizing some details in the next 2 days or so and getting the word out. Take it away, Raul.
That's right. Well, third Thursday, it's going to be the 21st of July. We have a lot of great things planned. It's going to be 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll have things getting set up prior to that. It'll be a quick turnaround from the market. We decided on the 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. hours because that's when most people will be leaving work or just getting off, so they have some time to regain themselves. We're going to have music there to keep things lively. We're going to have a band, Vesuvio. It will be sponsoring the event with food and bites. So I assume they're going to do like their pizzas and their gnocchis, things of that nature. They'll also have a bar. So we're just finalizing the ABC license things right now. And I think Pepe is more inclined to do their spritz. But if anyone has any other suggestions, please let me know. We'll also have a bar of non-alcoholic drinks that will be more farm to table via Hacienda Farm. And they'll be including like their basils or lemons, things like that. We'll be doing lemonade. We're going to have a few farmers market vendors there as well. We will have a flower bar where we'll have Green Valley Floral. They're a vendor that we had long past. Maybe some of you were part of the farmers market like a few years ago, but they were the farm that did roses. And they're actually the only rose grower in the Northern Hemisphere now, from my understanding of it. So that'll be really fun. People pick their own flowers. A person will tell them the process of growing, things like that. We also have our farmer, his name is Javier Zamora of JSM Farms, and he's actually the president of CCOF, which helps farmers become organically certified. And he has been gaining a lot of notoriety as of late. He has a video via Patagonia, and it has over 1 million views on YouTube. He also recently got a sponsorship from Square. He was over at he does a lot of things out here in the Bay Area, just like dropping in, showing off berries, doing presentations. So we'll have some kind of demonstration from him, and he'll be providing strawberries, and we'll be doing strawberry shortcakes as well as a dessert bar and cookies. We will also be having a photo booth. Right now, we're not sure if we're going to go traditional, if we're going to do a more fun approach to it via like Polaroids and a Polaroid wall. I think that's always fun. We'll be doing raffles. We will have a kids activities section, and maybe the kids will paint rocks or something like that, but we'll have some kids activities lined up. What else we got here? I'm trying to find some plein air artists at the moment, so hopefully that happens. We will be presenting Javier from JSM with a portrait that a local artist is working on for him. We kind of would like to recognize him because he is a very special person, and we would kind of like to make him like Carmel's farmer, because we are so appreciative of him being at the farmer's market. In a sense, they're all the Carmel farmers, but he's like a special star. And I'm not sure if I'm missing anything, but yeah. Other than that, music, fun. It's going to be a great time, and we're excited. We're really excited. Yes.
Linda?
It sounds fantastic. How are we advertising this event?
So it is a little short notice, but we'll be doing the Friday newsletter, and we'll be doing a lot of campaigning at the farmers market. We'll have the Hacienda booth there, and I don't know if you've been to the market recently, but Niall does a great job with his basil and jam samples, and he really sucks people in. I'll be doing the same in the trailer. And we'll have posters set up, and it'll kind of be a grassroots campaign this first time around. But I think the second one will gain a lot of notoriety from this first one.
Do we have time to put an ad in the Pine Cone?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Okay.
Yes, we have time to get an ad.
And you're gonna advertise all 3 months at the same time? Hopefully.
Yes, the third Thursday of every month, and my hope is that we go through October.
Great.
Because the weather should be nice through October. So this will be our first one, so it is a little hectic right now, but we'll have it dialed in come August and have refined things and have our plan in place for advertising and getting the word out.
Thank you.
Judy?
Yeah, my question is, how are we able to have a bar? Did it have to go through city council? I mean, liquor and public?
It had to go through the ABC. I guess I'm not too familiar with that, but it did go through some kind of thing, and it's getting signed off by the police department as well.
Yeah, I've got that covered.
And it'll be
so Ashley, so it doesn't have to go through city council?
I'm going to. That's a good question, Judy. At this point, we're going to proceed with beta testing at this first round. And if it's successful, then I'll take a blanket permit to council in the future with regards to the farmers market, because the farmers market operates a little bit differently than some of our other events.
Really? Huh, interesting.
And in the bar, it'll also like, it'll be in an enclosed space because people won't be just roaming around with beverages.
I have no problem with alcohol at the event.
Okay.
I just,
It's come up for us, yes, it's come up for us before. And so we've been working on refining this process with the city council. And we'll continue to do so as we go forward with Third Thursdays in particular, and how we structure those in the park and alongside the farmers market.
Okay.
Donna, I know you have your hand raised, and then we'll go to Ellen. I think I see your hand raised. I'm not, Donna, you're on mute if you're trying to speak. All right, Ellen, we'll go to you, and Donna can jump in if she comes back.
Okay, thanks, John. And thank you, Raul. It sounds really exciting and fun. So I have a couple questions. So the first one is July 21st. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then do you have any information? You gave us just a lot in your presentation. Thank you. Do you have something that you can send to us? Sometimes I feel at loss. I don't have it's not you guys, it's me probably, but I don't have enough information to talk about, oh, this is coming up and this is going to be happening. And so any of the information that you can give us before the event, and then if you have a logo or something and it's appropriate, I mean, I will put it out on my social media. I'm sure others will too, just to get the word out. But it sounds really great. And then anything that I can do to help, I will.
Definitely.
Thank you.
We're finishing up our logo in the next, I think today it'll be finished up. We kind of just put some feelers on how it's looking. So we will have a poster of sorts. It's pretty nice, I think. And with specifics, are you kind of asking you'd like the specific names of the vendors that will be there?
Yeah.
No, what's a general
Like
event?
okay.
What's happening? Who, what, when, where, why?
Awesome. Yeah, I think you'll see that in the next couple of days, Ellen.
Yeah, we'll have it. I've got something drafted for the Friday letter started. So, and it runs along the press release model for that. So we'll have that ready to go, and we'll make sure that goes out to all of you.
Okay, thank you. It sounds really great.
I'd echo that. 1 second, Donna. I'll go to Donna next. One thought for the kids side of it, do we want to ask the CYC if they'd like to sponsor the kids area and maybe do the activities as kind of a way for them to advertise kind of the CYC and what they're up to? Just a thought to go to Jessica and see. That could be.
It can. I just spoke with her. They'll be coming out of 2 weeks hiatus. So next week might not be the week for that, but it could be a potential partnership with them. I don't want to overburden them because just like every other group, I just had a meeting with her last week. Short staff, people getting sick, plus lots of children. So I don't want to stretch them too thin as it is, but I do love the idea of partnering with them on anything that we do.
I think that's a great idea, John. And I think after this first one, I'm really hoping that more community groups reach out to us. I know that Ashley and I spoke briefly yesterday about right now we're having kind of a looping crowd of the community booths at the farmers market. So hopefully with this word, it'll just expand the scope and more people will approach us.
Donna?
The date in August, the 18th, and maybe Ashley can clarify, is that the day of prancing ponies also?
Yeah, it's car week. August is a month that is not great for us planning things. So we're going to have to shift that one a little bit. But September and October will be good.
Right. Well, you're still going to do it. It'll just be the same day is what I'm saying. Right.
No, we'll have to shift the day because we had been talking, Raul and Niall and I had been talking about whether or not we could do something during car week. But car week is just such a bear for people moving around and getting in and out and for our vendors. And so we had anything that's not car week related or a car week event here in town has effectively been canceled at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, so there won't be any in August, or
Not on the 18th. We'll look at a different day because August is an exceptional month because of Car Week, because that shuts. I mean, it even shuts the school down partially. So, I mean, it really is impactful to all of us for our normal.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn.
Will we still have the normal farmers market on the 18th or no?
No, not during Car Week.
Okay.
Not during Car Week.
They didn't consider maybe having farmers market in the park there.
We talked about it. I mean, and I know you all know, it is so jammed up with cars and with traffic and with people. So not only is it, where is a normal good week during the summer, it's where is everybody going to park? And I watch the parking happen outside of my office. It is very busy down here. And if you put Car Week on top of that, no one's going to get anywhere or be able to buy their vegetables or do anything. I don't think it would be a good service or a good time for anyone. And not only that, I'm cognizant of our vendors who are traveling, sometimes from further north up in Moss Landing, coming down and having to fight that traffic during Car Week. So, I mean, I don't want them to have to do that and have that experience. And then have a market where, the foot traffic might not be that high for vegetables because it's more tourists, not our locals. So we really did think about what those impacts were during Car Week. And I know that people love the weekly market, and I don't want to cancel it ever unless it's for something like this where it's just so big, it's bigger than anything else we're doing, or if it's a significant weather event and it's a safety issue.
Donna still has her hand raised. I'm not sure if she wants to say something again. No. Okay, there we go. Anybody else on the commissioner side? Comments? Open it up to the public. All right. Thank you, Ro.
Thanks, John. Thanks, committee. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you.
Next item of business, receive after action reports for Breakfast with the Bunny, Monterey County Winemakers, Carmel Art Festival, Memorial Day, and Surf About contest.
All right. So all of our events that happened this spring, these are our events. We're finally back to it's schedule that looks like it did pre-pandemic. There were some during the pandemic moves to reschedule things. But in the end, this was the first time that the Vintners was back, Carmel Art Festival was back, and the Surf About. Unfortunately for the Breakfast with the Bunny event and Monterey County Vintners, Nature had other plans. The Breakfast with the Bunny was rained out, but there was a backup plan because we were watching the weather. And they moved to the Carmel Youth Center. We had prepared signs in advance just in case that happened so that we could direct people from the park up to the youth center, and that worked well. Monterey County Vintners, they were plagued by a very windy weekend that weekend. So some of the tents were taken down and the event was moved completely into the park for some more protection. No other issues were reported with that event. Carmel Art Festival went off without a hitch. I don't know if any of you had time to poke into any of these events. Their setup was great. They were happy to be back. They're looking at new and different kinds of sponsorships next year, and they're bringing the gallery guides back, which I think is terrific. So yay, Art Festival. Memorial Day, the change that we made to that, if you all remember from the budget process, was that I added in Glastonbury to do sound for us for some of our events going forward, in particular with Memorial Day and Veterans Day. It's of importance so that everybody in the audience can hear. Even in the morning on what is supposed to be a quiet and reflective day, it's often loud with traffic, and Glastonbury set up this time and they did a terrific job, and the sound was much improved over previous years. So we will continue to work with Glastonbury so that everybody attending has no problems with that. And then the Carmel Surf About contest also went well. They were happy to be back. We had tried to work with them last year and had it planned up, to the last few weeks for them to hold the event. And in the end, because of COVID, they decided to cancel. So I'm glad that they were able to come back this year and have their event in June. As per usual, they usually have dumpsters and extra portable toilets on that weekend down at the beach. The portable toilets were not picked up on time. However, this was due to a scheduling issue on the contractor side that was also graduation weekend. So they were very busy and picked those up as soon as possible, as soon as we contacted them, and no other issues were reported for that event. And collecting this information, we work with the event organizers, we work with the public works crews who help us put up signs and support the events, and who are also in town working these weekends during the summer, and then of course the police department as well. So that's how we gathered all of our information. And then of course, emails and phone calls from members of the public who attended the events, their observations. And so there we are. So we're doing really well. Our regular event organizers really have things dialed in. They're great to work with, and we're appreciative of them. And it's nice to be back in the swing of things, nature notwithstanding, for a couple of these. Linda.
Yes, I'm starting to look at John now for my go-to. Thank you. 3. I've gone to the art festival frequently. My friends love it. That's one of our favorite. I mean, we always know we're going to gather and have a good time and go out afterwards. And the consensus was it was very confusing at the beginning because they changed some of the way they've always done it. And like some of my friends are very rigid in what they expect. And it has to do with how to buy the paintings. They changed that all around. And I thought it was handled in a very confusing way because people were just, people who had been there in the past did not know what was happening in terms of the sign schedule about when were people going to vote, because there was this voting process that happened for favorites, which is all fine, but people did not know how to participate in that or what was the best way to do that. So, I mean, I don't know how you could communicate that or if you want to, but that's
I'll pass that along to the event organizer, to Hella.
Okay.
We don't get this far down in the weeds with them. We're just making sure that they are following the rules, that there's no safety issues.
Got it.
With those
Yes. Okay.
but that is good. I'm sure Hella would appreciate that feedback. So I will be sure to share that with her.
Any other comments from commissioners? Ellen?
Yeah, I went to the art festival and thought it was great. And although there was some confusion, I was really grateful that they had it. And it's so hard to get volunteers right now. So, signage would be needed, but it was a great event. And so I saw so many tourists that were there and, speaking so positively about the city and the event. So that was good.
Thank you. If we don't have any other commissioners, any comments from the public? All right. Thank you. Next, discuss progress on the 2021-2024 Community Activities Commission strategic plan and provide direction.
Yeah. So I attached for all of you a copy of the strategic plan that I've been keeping notes on as we've been going along in terms of where we are in progress. And I'll share my screen right now. How's that? Yes?
That's good.
Okay, good. So we're as for being halfway, well, the start of the new fiscal year, but also halfway through the calendar year, we're doing pretty good. We have a lot of things that are in progress between Margie and Leslie and I. We have, starting off with our first goal, maximizing communication opportunities. We have costed out utilizing the banner polls and done some research on that. And so we'll be getting, you'll hopefully see banners going up once we coordinate timing with other groups that have reserved space on those banner polls. Encouraging the community to sign up for the Friday letter. The city administrator and planning director were recently out at the farmers market, which is terrific. And so I think they'll be returning to that as well. And we'll have other city staff members out there talking about the Friday letter, and our police department wants to be at the market once a month doing outreach as well. So that's great. We still need to do a lot of work on the city's website. We're going to be doing a refresh of the website overall. And so we'll continue to chip away at our community activities pages. Right now, all of the events and farmers market information are up to date. And we'll work on getting more information up for community groups and volunteers. Moving into goal 2 for our second year objectives. And that goal is, embracing opportunities and looking at new events and social gatherings. We started during the pandemic developing some pilot programs for community events, like giveaways at the farmers market, encouraging people to decorate for holidays. I love that the women's clubs kind of really jumped on the bandwagon with that and are still doing their decorations. It looked great for the 4th of July. So I'd like to keep us doing that again. Encouraging community group fairs in Devendorf Park during the farmers market or on the weekends. So we have 2 spaces reserved every week for community groups to come and participate and do outreach at the market. This was a little slow to start, but it's really picked up and it's very popular now. And if we have an extra space and I'm able to accommodate last minute, or Raul's able to accommodate last minute requests for people, groups that are doing fundraisers and not kind of our regular usual suspects, we're able to do that most times. And then Margie and Ellen and Leslie have been, or Margie and Ellen and Donna have been working on a community group fair for September. I put that on your calendar. We'll discuss that when that item comes up for receiving updates on special events. I think that'll be really great, and we'll probably see very good turnout for that. The art in public places is another one that's in progress. So we're working on reviewing the art in public places policy that we currently have, alongside what other cities are doing and what opportunities there are for us moving forward. Also using the project with the Carmel Hearts as a model for how we do potential permitting or application process. So that's been very helpful as we've worked through this. In fact, you'll see some hearts pop up again soon. They're doing a small fundraiser again for Leadership Carmel. I know they were working on a couple different initiatives, but the hearts were so successful, they returned to theirs. So it's just going to be 5 or 6 this time. So I'm working with them on that. And like I said, it's really helping us to look at how to do temporary art in Carmel and make it streamlined for all the city departments that are involved in permitting that and and vetting that, and what that can look like for us in the future. And then ongoing, continuing to refine our special event permitting process. We now have online permits, which is terrific. Whenever our permit's submitted, Leslie and Margie and I all get a notification so we can review and keep that process moving along, and making sure that we get all of the pertinent information from our event organizers. And then for our goal 3, striving to be excellent stewards of the environment. And that's working with our environmental compliance manager to begin waste minimization efforts at the city events. We're in a good place with that. We have the farmers market using, the green bags. As you can see, we're making sure that we are composting when and where we can. I'm hoping that we can work with them on doing some outreach. there is an initiative for sustainable libraries, and I'm hoping to partner with the Environmental Compliance Department and Public Works on this so that we can continue these efforts throughout the city, and work with them on programs and outreach, which is also fits right in with what we do with community activities. So it'll be, I think, a really good collaboration for us moving forward to be able to use places like the farmers market to talk about new rules regarding recycling, trash, composting, making people aware of other environmental impacts that we're seeing and experiencing, fire awareness, all of those types of things that we can work with Public Works on to build programs. I know there was a question last meeting about Arbor Day, why that wasn't on the calendar, and as soon as we have that information from them, we'll get it on there. But I think there are other programs besides Arbor Day that we can add in and incorporate in to share out initiatives that the Public Works Department's working on, and elevate those to help our community understand new regulations coming down from the state. And then our last goal here, all those second year objectives, we'll keep plugging away out for the environmental waste minimization types of things that we want to ensure we're doing our best at. And then develop long range plans for community spaces. Public Works has taken charge of Scout House and Vista Lobos at this point for renovations. We did gather some data in particular on the Scout House prior to the pandemic about how the community wanted to see the space used. So we have that information to inform anything that goes forward in terms of requests for bids or RFPs. We have not gotten to that place yet. So if and when we do, I'll be working with the Public Works Director on Scout House and Vista Lobos and what that looks like, and the CAC's part of that conversation. So at this point, we're in a holding pattern. And when I have an update on that, I will bring it forth to all of you. So we're, I think, progressing nicely, if not slowly, but we will be continuing to work on moving this plan forward, and we will, sorry, somebody was looking in the window at me. Threw me off for a second. So I feel like we're in a good place. Things are moving forward. We're kind of out of that pandemic panic of just get the events done, where we can do some things in between planning our upcoming events to move this plan forward and be responsive to community. Are there any questions about where we are?
Judy? You're on mute, Judy.
Sorry, it's not a question. It's going back to permitting. And before, when Margie was here and worked, was with the group, and now that she's back, Margie used to send out something every week about what was coming up, like if there was filming coming up, if there was a big event coming up. And I would like to ask if she could do that again. Like, I was on the beach this weekend, there was a huge wedding, and it would have been nice to, known that there was this ginormous wedding happening and stuff. So if we could get that put back, that would be great.
I'll figure out, we'll send it to the Community Activities Commission, of course. It's been going up to the police department and Public Works, so they have an awareness if they get calls. It's an interesting thing to communicate with about the community in general, not just this commission, but if there's a way.
I'm just talking about us, yeah.
Yeah, just about us, but it just makes me think, when we look at that goal of communication, could we potentially include something like this in the Friday letter or something? Not inviting people to another person's wedding, but just a heads up, this is happening. If you are walking your dog on the beach, there is going to be a wedding. It is allowed. We did permit it. So that is also a potential, in addition to making sure that you all have notice.
Linda?
furthering our communication efforts, which I think are always good to talk about. Yeah, I think the things that are permitted around town, if there's a way to get the, yes, I'd like to know about those, but really, I think it's the whole community. If they know about it, it just helps everyone with their planning and parking and activities. But the most important thing I want to mention today is what's going on the Forest Theater, because I don't think there's enough information about what is happening there. I mean, I think PAC Rep is really good about getting things out, but there's been an event going on by the Forest Theater Guild for a number of months. I think most of you know I live down the street and I hear the music. And yet I spent some time looking at, when I pull up Forest Theater, all I get is PAC Rep. And I don't know that it's advertised enough. I mean, if they're selling all their seats, hey, great. And maybe they don't need it. But I mean, I think often people are asking about the Forest Theater and what's happening. And there doesn't seem to be a place to find that information easily. PAC Rep is great about sending, people who have donated or on their mailing list what's happening.
Thanks for that, Linda. I'll pass that on to Forest Theater Guild and PAC Rep and see, it's part of the contract we have with PAC Rep Theater about communication. So this would be a good check-in to do with them on that piece of things, because it's not just what is PAC Rep doing, it's what is overall happening at the Forest Theater.
And I don't see anything
follow-up and feedback.
Yeah.
For them. So thank you.
And maybe, I mean, this is just a minor suggestion is, I mean, maybe they should take some turns at the farmers market. Also, I think that would be helpful. But the main thing is to get the information out to the community about what is happening there, because I think people are always fascinated by what's happening there.
Great, thank you.
Any other commissioners? Thank you, Ashley. Any comments from the public?
Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the public. Would it be okay? All right, thanks, John. Hey, I'm so sorry to backtrack just a little bit, but with everything happening with Third Thursday, I forgot to mention that next week at the farmers market, Visit California will be out there. And they'll be shooting a segment, and they'll also be shooting a segment for California Grown, which is California's agriculture spotlight program. So I'm just letting everyone know that there'll be some cameras out there around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and they'll be interviewing some of our farmers.
Is it this Thursday in 2 days? This Thursday?
Next Thursday, Linda.
Next, a week from Thursday? Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Do we need any permitting for that, or any? I mean, are they going to have people sign authorization forms for the filming?
That I'm not too.
Well,
sure.
Yeah, we're working with them on getting all those things nailed down. So thank you for mentioning that, so people understand what's happening. I saw another small crew working around town the other day. So we will be coordinating with Raul on the filming for that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's all set.
All righty. All right, guys, that's it for me.
Thank you. All right, so there's no public comment. Oh, my computer. Hold on a second. Sorry, I just lost where it was. Apologies. Hold on. Let me just. Okay. Next up, receive updates on the 2022 special events calendar for the city of Carmel-by-the-Sea and potential new events and discuss.
All right. So included in your packet is an updated 2022 events calendar. We've made it through half of July. I can't believe it. I'll be coming at you next month with a breakdown on the Monterey County Pops concert. So much great feedback. I think people were really happy to be in the park. It was good to have 6th Avenue closed. for extra room for people to watch the program. I'm sure you saw the photos in the Friday letter, but the park was packed, and I'm so pleased that the Pops want to be with us for the 4th of July, and I hope that continues into the future. Our summer reading programs have been going great in the park. For the library, if any of you were at the farmers market and happened to be there during one of the Thursday library programs, they've been Thursdays or Fridays. It's been fantastic. This last program we had, Zoo to You, with alligators and kangaroos in the park was pretty fun. Pretty good crowds, and just nice to see people out and about, and porcupines and kangaroos in the park. So these types of smaller programs, lunchtime things at the farmers market, I'm keeping an eye on. This with the library programs was done, you know, for safety, for COVID. Pre-pandemic, the library was outgrowing the interior of the building for its summer reading programs anyway, and so we had been contemplating doing more things in the park pre-pandemic and never got the chance until now. And so it's been really terrific to see families get back in the swing of things. We're looking at doing more programs in the park alongside of things that we have going on, like the market and yoga and things like that. So it's going to be well used and well loved. Moving on from the month of July, in August, we'll have 2 car week events that we have previously discussed. Acura on Tuesday, August 16th, will be in Devendorf Park. They were previously a small component of the CODA event. There'll be no changes there to their setup. It'll just be that Acura piece in the park. And then the Prancing Ponies car show has been moved to Thursday, August 18th. In both cases, we're working with event organizers to finalize those permits. As you all know, I've talked about this before, but there's lots of details and things like that that can take a little bit to nail down. So we are working on getting those permits approved ASAP. We have a date now for the high school homecoming parade. That's Friday, September the 16th. Margie's been working on an alternate route for them for the parade, which I think will be absolutely terrific, where we don't use that intersection across Ocean and Unipro, which is an absolute bear. So we've kind of reinvented the staging area that we had for the Halloween parade and made that a little different and even better. So that should go very smoothly, and then we can have the kids be in the park and stage closer to the park. Which I think will be better and safer for everybody involved.
Actually, real quick, do you mind just unsharing your screen that way?
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to keep reading the strategic plan?
Love, there we go. Thank you. Okay, Sandcastle contest.
Sandcastle contest. Sandcastle contest will have the themes shortly. I ran into, if some of you may know him, Alfred Seacombe, who's worked with the architects for a number of years and been at our event pretty much for as long as I've been working it, said they've got something nailed down, which I think is going to be very fun. I'm not going to spoil it right now, as much as I want to share it because I'm really excited about it. And then Ellen and Donna and Margie are looking at Thursday, September 27th to launch our first community group fair. And so I'll let them speak a little bit more about some of those details, since this is a new event and a strategic plan initiative that kind of supports what we're doing with the, yes, Judy.
What date did you say?
The community fair is September 27th. That's a Thursday.
It's a Tuesday.
The 27th? Oh.
It should be the 26th instead of the 27th.
Margie, you sound like you're underwater.
I'm sorry, it should be the
22nd. Sorry, it's probably because we holler back and forth at each other in the office and we're confirming multiple dates at the same time. The 22nd. Thank you, Judy.
Okay.
And then do any of you have anything for this meeting right now to report out about that community group fair? Shall we wait till next?
I can report the flyer is complete. It will be going to Ellen and Judy to take one more look at, and then it will be here in the next, probably at the end of the month, to invite all the groups to be involved.
So we're progressing nicely. And we'll have another report out for all of you in August. So flyers will be approved within the ad hoc committee, look at doing outreach to the groups, and then I'll have a report out for all of you August. And then we'll get ready to hopefully have some community groups, and September should be good. For October this year, I've added Meet the Maker to our calendar. That's Saturday, October 8th. I was just speaking with the executive director at Visit Carmel about them doing some outreach prior to that event at the farmers market, which I think will be great. Any way that we can support them with getting the word out about our arts community would be very good. The Forest Theater Guild will be doing Hocus Pocus in the park right before Halloween. We'll be sponsoring that event. So that will be, I think, a fun night for families, anybody who loves Hocus Pocus. And then Monday, October 31st, we will have the Halloween parade. This will be our first weekday of having it then, where it's scheduled for after school. The goal is after school. This is a throwback to when the parade used to be held, so that families could participate, and we had more participation by families and kids, where we weren't competing for sports games or anything else happening on the Saturday that we had it before. And again, this is just testing, so we'll give it maybe a couple years and see where we land in terms of participation. This year, since we have a longer lead time, I'm hoping to get the word out to the schools so we can see more of the classes actually participate. And then again, last year we tried to get some traction too with some trick-or-treating downtown. And I think with the success and the attendance at last year's parade, I think that we will gain even more traction there and see some real vibrancy downtown. Looking forward to that. So that's the Halloween parade. Veterans Day
Judy,
ceremony.
real quick, Ashley, I know Judy had a question.
Oh, yes.
She'd raise her hand.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. One, could you go back to Meet the Maker a little bit and tell me a little bit more about that event?
Yes, so that's an initiative by Visit Carmel. And that is meeting the artists who are working here in our downtown, and a wine walk. So that is spearheaded by, there was a wine walk pre-pandemic. I don't know that it's picked up again, spearheaded by artist Joaquin Turner. And so they are going to be working with him on doing a walk through town, highlighting our local artists and doing wine and nibbles. And then we'll be working with Visit Carmel in the next spring as well with the Restaurant Improvement District, just like we have in the past for permitting for Culinary Week. They're looking at doing it in June, potentially next year instead of January. So those are two initiatives with our marketing partner that not only are good advertising for people who are not locals, but also they're very keen on making sure our visitors are respectful of the village. And I attend these meetings. In fact, we have a meeting this week, but also that these events are geared towards locals as well. These aren't just tourism opportunities. These are, hey, you guys live here. Remember, it's like when a friend comes to visit and you forget, like, oh, the ocean's really beautiful and I never get to do this thing and I haven't been to the aquarium in forever. These types of Meet the Maker, Culinary Week types of things are just as much for locals to remind us how lucky we are here in town and all of the gems, the hidden gems we may not be aware of.
Yeah, I got it. It's a different name than it was before when they did the art walk or whatever it was.
They did an art walk and then it kind of morphed into Meet the Maker, and then it's kind of the art walk Meet the Maker. So right now they're calling it Meet the Maker, and that's the language I used here.
So what do they have in plan? Because I remember the last art walk, there were, instead of, people were taking their wine glasses and walking down the street and drinking on the streets, and that
Right.
was an issue.
And that's been remedied since then. So I think they did one subsequent one, and the planning department was involved in helping communicate with them about that. And we'll make sure as we go through the planning process with Visit Carmel that that is addressed and made clear to anybody serving wine that they need to make sure that their patrons aren't walking out with wine glasses.
Okay. And then we moved on to Halloween, and were you able to talk to Niall about his idea?
We were only able to speak about it briefly last week at the farmer's market. I haven't gotten down to him on the weeds with his trebuchet. I think they're looking and exploring that as an idea for Hacienda Carmel. But as soon as he and I have a chance to connect more in depth about some of the things we discussed at the last meeting, I will share that out with all of you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Linda?
While we're still talking about Halloween, yeah, I think Hacienda, I mean, what they do for Halloween is great, and that's kind of their thing. But what are we going to do as far as a pumpkin activity replacement for the pumpkin roll question? And what kind of feedback did you get about the discussion of canceling the pumpkin roll? Because I did get some shouts that weren't very positive out on the street.
So it's been, so right now I am still talking with our environmental compliance manager about what we can do. And she understands the layout of the event as it stood, and the fact that we were composting the pumpkins, but we did discuss, some other aspects of it that I had talked to this group that I found, concerning in terms of where we were with strategic plan. I had probably 50-50 with people who were like, I don't care about this. There's plenty of other events that were happening. Yes, of course, we're canceling it for this reason. And then other people who were not happy that at this point it wasn't moving forward. So a mixed bag for me in terms of feedback from members of the public.
Well, I still think we need to do something with pumpkins around Halloween and preferably in the park. Thank you.
Thank you.
So just to follow on to that, I mean, if we have that farmer's market the Thursday before, maybe we can create our own pumpkin patch in the park, and then have some kind of decorating contest where people can decorate their pumpkins at home and then take pictures and send them in, and maybe the commission can vote on a winning pumpkin and something like that. I don't know, just a way to incorporate it. And the other thing I was thinking was, in addition to what's going on at Hacienda, I'd love to see us find a way to your point, Ashley, with the advance notice we have this year. Ideally we do the parade, and then there's, assuming it's on a Monday, my second assumption would be that it's going to have a much stronger locals participation than in past years, and will for the next couple of years. Because of that, can we work with the CRA? Can we work with the chamber to do some kind of residents locals discount for restaurants or shops that evening, to the extent families want to come to the parade, trick or treat, and then go to a local restaurant? Maybe there's a neat way, knowing we're going to have an influx of residents and locals, do something that's creative with the restaurant community and the shops that evening. It might be a really neat way to kind of do a Carmel open house for locals. It just feels like we're going to have a pretty good presence in town that day.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was some of the things that I sent out, and I know our business owners were, scrambling to find help and dealing with COVID regulations, but haunted happy hour was one of my suggestions, or we had little signs we were encouraging people to put up that were little ghosts for trick-or-treating. So I will dust that off and see what we can do. And like I say, I attend the Visit Carmel meetings when I can, and I'm starting to jump in sometimes to the Restaurant Improvement District meetings as well to get the word out, this type of word out to them. So we'll work on that for this year.
Thanks. Judy?
Yeah, one other thing. I mean, I agree with Linda and John. I think we need to do something with pumpkins, an event of some type, but decorating and then judging. Once you've decorated the pumpkin, if you've painted it, it's no longer compostable. So, so the whole environmental thing is thrown out again. So
you could carve the pumpkin.
You could carve
I
the
mean,
pumpkin.
that is tradition. That's very traditional.
That
but
is
you could
true.
just carve the pumpkin
Yeah.
and not put anything on it or in it.
Right. And so maybe one year we had a guy do a pumpkin carving thing. So
Rusty craft, yes.
yeah, so
He's
maybe
the
you could have a whole thing set up in the park and he could do a demonstration and then all the kids could carve their own, you know, but
Yeah, I think the
need to
one
do
challenge
something.
with it, holding it, well, we'll get there. Anyway, sorry, Donna, your hand is raised.
Donna? You're on mute there.
Well, I would think this is an opportunity for the third Thursday, excuse me, in October, which is the 20th, to incorporate any of those ideas for that day, be it a company, a patch, or somebody to carve, or a giveaway. That's October the 20th, and incorporate it into the third Thursday.
Yeah, I think that might be a good opportunity because the third Thursdays the hours are 5 to 8. If we did it during regular farmers market and kids are in school, then, and I haven't checked, I think the school break falls earlier in October this year because we try to plan our events around the school breaks based on our experience in the past. So thank you for that, Donna.
Linda?
Oh, I just wanted to concur that I think that's an excellent suggestion if we do it on a third Thursday, because I love doing synergy activities. Thank you.
Donna?
I have to keep unmuting me here. I was just looking at, I have the calendar. That happens to be the Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, before the home crafters.
Home Crafters is in November.
Oh, that's right. Okay, then we're good. Then for sure incorporate, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm in Paris. I don't know what day it is. So, but no, I think incorporated it into the third Thursday carving exhibition, a pumpkin patch. And I like those little baby pumpkins. All the pumpkins, if we get them free or low cost or not, you know, the small ones, they don't have to be all giants and cost so much and be so much of a waste.
Linda?
I just want to say, Donna, please stay on after our meeting because I want to hear how Paris is. Thank you.
Any other comments from commissioners? And Ashley, I don't think are you not necessarily, I think we cut you off. I'm sorry. I feel like you were starting to move through November.
Oh, no, not at all. This is why we have this item standing on the agenda so we can discuss these things.
Do you have more that you want to review today, Ashley, or we?
I just want you all to be aware of, you know, when our dates are coming up. So if we've got November and December covered, just keep an eye on that and we'll have this monthly update like we do. Thank you all for your feedback.
Judy?
One more. We have, I think we missed it. Next week is it Home Crafters judging? Is it next week?
Yes, and if any of you would like to participate on that panel, please let Leslie know. I know she sent a couple emails out, but didn't hear back. So anybody who's available to participate and be a juror on Wednesday would be greatly appreciated.
Is it it's Wednesday?
The 20th, yes.
We need we need one juror.
Yeah.
Per member.
So if you've never done it before, I think almost everybody has.
This is Ellen. I can't do it this year, sorry, but when is the sign up for the sandcastle to help with that?
Sandcastle contest? I think we might have enough judges. I'll check. We kind of divided and conquered. So Margie's got one, Leslie's got one, I've got one. So we're all with the event. So I think Leslie has that one. I'll ask her about that. And I think that might have enough judges, but I will find out for sure and let you all know.
What date is that again? I don't have that in front of me. I'm
The
sorry.
Sandcastle contest is September the 17th. It's a Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. And just to let you guys know, I won't be at the meeting next month.
Donna?
I was going to say, I really like the idea of these third Thursdays because I think we can take all of our ideas that we all have and incorporate it into that event, because we've been to cities that have First Fridays and Second Tuesdays, and be it the kids or be it pumpkins or be it Christmas, I think that to me that's a really solid way for our group to really help the community get to know each other and highlight some of the other artists, be it face painting or drums or anything. So I really like that, Ashley, and thank you and your group.
Great. Any comments from the public? All right. Last agenda item, consider if and when to return to in-person community activity commission meetings and provide direction to staff.
So this is just a standing item that we have on our agenda now in terms of, COVID regulations and mask wearing in city facilities, which still is in place as a requirement for being in a city facility, unless like me, you're in your office with the door closed by yourself. As that stands, if we were to return to in-person meetings in the City Hall Council Chamber, we would need to be masked. And anybody attending our meetings in person would need to also wear a mask and sign in, just as they do for the City Council meetings currently, which are meeting. If we were to meet in person, our meetings would be hybrid. So people would be able to participate online still. If they wanted to call in or Zoom in, that would still be an option. As that stands, as the regulation stands, at this point in time, what is the consensus of the commission in terms of in-person meetings in the City Hall Council Chamber versus continuing to meet solely over Zoom?
I think last time we talked about this, we said until we can go back without masks, we would continue in this format. But if anybody has a different view, please. Seems like I'm getting a couple nods of agreement. Okay, so I think we'll keep this on the agenda, but it sounds like until we change the city policy, we'll maintain this.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank
you, John, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, John.
Thank you. Any future agenda items?
I guess we should leave the Halloween item on there to,
We'll have our standing items. So updating on farmers markets. So we'll have a breakdown next month on how the third Thursday went, after action report for that and for 4th of July. And then the updates on our 2022 special events calendar. We will talk about more detail on the community groups and on Halloween.
Great. Well, thank you all. Judy, thank you for your leadership. It's an honor to receive the torch. And Ellen, congratulations. Looking forward to teaming up and looking forward to a good year. So thank you so much. And I think with that, we're adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Dana.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Anyone who wants to hear about Paris, stay on. Dana, what are you doing?
Yes.
How is it?
Well, I had lunch at the Jules Verne Saturday at the Eiffel Tower.
Nice.
I saw the Dior exhibit, which is the hot ticket in town.
Wow.
I saw the Picasso Museum, which I had never been to. I've been to the Pompidou and the Louis Vuitton exhibit. I've been to the Orsay, or the Musée Orsay. And I've walked the streets of Paris, had, cafe dining and baguettes and all the juicy food. And the city is preparing for Bastille Day. And we saw a flyover. They were practicing. They're setting up thousands of chairs around the Eiffel Tower. The U.S. Embassy isn't open to the public at this time. And Paris is very warm and it's beautiful till 10 o'clock at night. Very crowded with American and European tourists, not very many tourists from the eastern part of the world. And it's as delightful to me as it's always been, and I go to London tomorrow.
How are they handling COVID there?
Very few wear masks. Most of them act like they don't care. I don't see any, like I said, I wore a mask on the plane. A lot of places are very crowded and very few people are paying attention. Very few.
Wow.
So I hope they're all vaccinated. Yeah. So
Well, thank you. We're envious.
Okay. Well, in London, it's going to be lovely. And then Oxford,